In many respects, Corrigin is just a typical wheat belt town, with shops, a high school, churches, and all the usual facilities. One unusual thing about the town is the dog cemetery, where local dog owners lay their four-legged friends to rest. There are over 200 pets at rest here now, and you will find it 5 kilometres west of town, just north of the main road. The cemetery has its origins back in 1974, when Paddy Wright was looking for a place to lay his dog Strike to rest. The Shire suggested a site 5 kilometres west of the town, and it wasn't long before other locals were also following Paddy's example and burying their dogs there too. In the 1980s, Alan Henderson started adding headstones to the graves, and in 1992, the dog statue that guards the entrance to the cemetery was added. Just opposite the dog cemetery is a turn-off to the Corrigin Wildflower Drive. There is a good gravel road that winds through the local nature reserve and gives a great opportunity to discover wildflowers during springtime. Corrigin's love of dogs extends to trying to break world records, and at the time of making this, currently holds the world record for dogs in a ute. Just a gentle reminder to anyone carrying a dog in a ute, please make sure that your dog is properly restrained and cannot fall out. Too many dogs have been injured or killed after falling from the back of a ute. The name Corrigin comes from the Aboriginal language, but the meaning has been lost. Originally though, the name selected for the town was Donderkin. This was because there was already a railway siding with a similar sounding name, Corrigin, spelt with a K, 2 R's and 2 N's. The railway authorities thought there could be some confusion with two similar sounding names, but the local people protested, and finally Corrigin with a K became Bicky, and Donderkin became Corrigin on May the 15th, 1914. The name was first recorded in 1877 and referred to a soak that the local Aboriginal people used as a water source. Sheep farming in the area has a long tradition and dates all the way back to the 1860s. During the 1880s, sandalwood cutters moved into the area, but it wasn't until the 20th century that land began to be taken up on a more permanent basis. In 1913, a road board began to operate from Corrigin, but when it became clear the railway was going to go to Corrigin, it was decided to move the road board to the new town. The first road board office was replaced in 1923, and the building that was erected can still be seen located next to the impressive-looking town hall. It was in use by the road board until 1963, when new shire offices were constructed. The town hall is very ornate and listed, along with the road board office, on the state's Heritage Register. Both buildings were designed by architect Percy W. Harrison, who was a founding member of the West Australian Institute of Architects. Corrigin lies 235 kilometres east of Perth and isn't really known as a tourist hotspot. Even so, there are good reasons to visit, including the already mentioned dog cemetery, but also places like Gorge Rock, where travellers can spend a night in their caravan or motorhome and enjoy the tranquil setting and the sounds of nature. Another feature of the town is the excellent museum that opens on Wednesdays and Sundays. The museum has a collection of pioneer memorabilia, tools, restored farm machinery, including tractors in working order, a blacksmith shop, one-room school, shearing shed, old district photographs, clothing, and much more. Entry is just $5. And if you're only remotely interested in our history and how people lived in much less technological times, then we highly recommend that you visit. Corrigin is still primarily a wheat and sheep area, and is likely to remain so for the foreseeable future. Despite the fact there have been many cycles of drought and flood, the land remains very productive.